This is section 6.5, part 5. We have been working with perfect square trinomials. And so what we're looking at here first is to see if we have a GCF, to see if anything comes out of all three of these. And there is nothing that comes out of both a 36 and a 25, so we have no GCF. We count our terms, we have 3. We look to see if we have perfect squares on the end. And 36 is 6 squared. Y squared, the square root of that is y. And here, the square root of 25 is 5. We multiply these together, and we get 30y. If we double that, we get 60y, which is right here. So this factors as 6y minus 5 squared. Okay, next problem. This one has some extra variables in it. It doesn't really make a big difference. We look for a GCF, and there's nothing that comes out of both a 64 and a 9, so no number part. This one doesn't have a y, this one doesn't have an x, so no variable either. Check for squares on the ends. 64 is a perfect square. Its square root is 8. The square root of x is x. The square root of 9 is 3. The square root of y squared is y. Now we do need to check for this middle number. 8 times 3 is 24, and then you have the x and the y. If you double that, you get 48xy, which is exactly what I have here. So this factors as 8x, which I got from here. This is a plus, so this is a plus. 3y squared. Okay, our last problem. I have a big clue that I probably can factor something out because I have a cube. Okay, and if you look, you do have an x in each one, so we will be able to factor out at minimum an x. These are all even numbers, so I can also factor out a 2. So factor out a 2x and see what we have. That will give me 9x squared plus 24xy plus 16y squared. So already it's factored. Our answer is not going to be prime because we had a GCF. Now we need to look in here and see if this factors any further. This is a perfect square, so is that. The square root of 9x squared would be 3x. The square root of 16 would be 4 and 4y. If I multiply those together, I get 12xy. If I double that, I get 24xy, which is my center term. So this 2x follows this down. And then you have 3x. That's a plus, so this is a plus. 4y squared. And you're done. Now, if you look at your homework, you'll see a section between 6.5 and 6.6. That is a factoring review. Factoring is relatively easy when you know what section you're in and you know exactly what kind of factoring you have to do. But more often than that, they're going to be mixed up together. And so what I did is I just put together a homework where all the different factoring types are mixed up together to give you practice to help figure that out. Use your factor tree, your factoring guide, and it should help you a whole lot.